Hey guys, in this video we're going to create these iOS screens from scratch in Figma. So by the end of the video you're going to learn how to create the screens in a fast and efficient ways and also learn some tips and tricks along the way. I'm also leaving the source file for free in the comments below. And by the way, some of the questions which you ask me more often on Instagram is what are the best tools and also courses to learn UI UX design, and I left a ton of resources in the link in the description, so feel free to check them out. But before further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, so let's get started and let's create these iOS screens. So the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to go over here on the frame tool, just gonna click it, and I'm going to select the iPhone, let's go with the 11 Pro. So as you can see, we have the very first artboard, and I'm going to rename this to simply 1. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating the first text typography styles. So the very first one is going to be market analysis. We're going to turn this into some sort of an onboarding screen of some sorts. And we're probably going to use Lato. Yeah, let's go with Lato, which by the way, it's a free Google Web font. I'm going to leave the link in the description, but even easier than that, you can simply go on Google, simply type in Lato. You don't even need to type in Lato font, and boom, the first one is the one that you see. So just click on download the entire family, and you're pretty much good to go. So here we go, market analysis. Let's make a duplicate of this type, since we'll need a bunch of these guys. And then let's make this one bigger, since this is going to be the main headline, and we're probably going to go with bold. And let's do also a step-by-step. So this is going to be step 2 of 4. And we're going to add this at the very bottom, and there was some sort of kind of like a pie chart right here, so let's do that, and let's put it over here. Let's add a stroke, and let's remove the fill. The stroke is going to be bigger, and yeah, probably around maybe something around these lines. And of course we want to go with, oops, the keyboard is kind of in the way. Let's put it here. And we want to go with something which is around the blue tint. I don't want to go like full gray, I guess, but just something which gives me a hint of the underlying blue. And yeah, I think this is good to go. I'm going to duplicate, so we have another ellipse over here. And I'm going to make this one a blue. Let's just double click on this. I'm going to remove this one. So we have half, and then we're going to try, well, first of all, we want to have the joints kind of like rounded. Yeah, here we go. And I'm going to try and just scale it down and try to match the circle. Now we're having an issue, which we already pretty much solved. So yeah, just kind of like eyeballing like the dimensions here. There's also a plugin which you can use to create these kind of elements, but for the time being, I think we're good with this solution. And yeah, that's that. Let's bring this guy up. We're going to create another one right here. And actually this is exactly 50%, so let's just keep it 50. And we're going to make it just a tiny bit smaller. So cool, this is good, but what I'm noticing is that I just need to make it a little bit smaller so that it covers exactly that specific area. I'm going to try, and I'm going to make this one blue. Let's give it a shot. And I'm also going to create some sort of like overlaying effect, kind of like a popover, in order to just give it a little bit of more information to the user as to what this element is exactly about. And I'm going to just add a little bit of more blur. think we're heading somewhere here, and I'm going to duplicate this with the layer on top, and this is going to be the this development. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. Let's make it medium, and let's go ahead and add also an icon right here. So I'm going to use a Nucleo icons, and if you followed along some of the or actually many of the other tutorials, you know by now that I'm a big fan of Nucleo icons, and basically you can simply Google it. You're going to find it right away. So that's Nucleo icons, and it's a free icon management software which allows you to just easily manage the icons. So you can literally like search for the icons. You can you can customize them real quick over here, and also browse by style, like all styles, glyph, outline, colored. You can simply drag and drop them. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So all right, we have this development right here. I'm going to change the color of this guy. Let's try and keep it blue. And I'm actually wondering if I'm going with the blue or if I'm going to change it to some other colors. Well, let's just keep it like this for now, and then we can decide as we go. I just want to make this circle just a little bit bigger, and probably just make also the stroke a little bit bigger too. Actually, that was fine, I guess. Cool. So I'm just going to group all of this into here, and I'm going to create the steps for the steps below. So all right, let's just make this smaller, enlarge this. I'm going to duplicate it, bring this one here, and we're going to maybe change the color. Not too sure about it yet, but seems like a good idea. In the meantime, let's add some descriptive text. I'm going to center align this. Yep, that's a hell lot of text. That's for sure. All right, let's just make this way smaller. So basically I have this software called atext, which allows me to save these actions. So for example, whenever I type in "C", you can see that I automatically create an emoji, and I can set each and every one of these manually. So that's what I use here for the lorem ipsum, that it didn't just magically appear in the design file. So all right, I'm going to copy this, make the text a little bit more on the gray side, and overall I think we're good to go. There's definitely some more things that we should take in consideration for this onboarding screen. So the very first one is going to be to use a logo, and that's going to be at the very top section. So let's actually browse through some Google Material icons, and I'm just going to use one of these guys as the logo. So I'm just going to drag and drop probably this one, and let's just make it smaller. Let's bring it on the left, top left, and I'm just going to rename it company, or Pierre's company. I have no idea what's a cool name for a company at the moment, but let's just rename it Figma, since this is what we're actually designing in. So just going to make it smaller, and I'm going to make both of these guys into a grayish tint, and I'm just going to make them just a little bit more pronounced, but not too much. I'm going to center them, bring it down just a little bit, bring this guy down as well, and bring this one up. Maybe have some sort of contact or chat with us, call to action. I'm going to make this one blue, bold, and let's find a chat icon. Yep, that will do. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Bring it here, and yeah, that will do. Now what we're missing at the moment is a button, so that's exactly what we're going to implement in just a moment. So I'm also going to change this text right here. Probably want to have it all caps, and I'm going to make it bold. 2 steps smaller, a little bit of distance between one letter and the other, and probably just a little bit lighter. Cool. So I think overall we're doing some nice progress right here. Probably going to just remove one letter here, and I'm going to just bring all of this up. And now let's create this button, which is going to be located right below. So the button is going to be here. Not too sure if this is becoming a little bit too overcrowded, but overall it's looking pretty good so far. And yeah, let's just add a little bit of roundness to the actual border. Let's duplicate probably this guy right here, and let's make it white, and let's write continue. Center it, make it blue, this one 10%. So we're basically trying to balance out the entire composition by not having a border which is or a button which is very prominent, I guess. It's probably going to go with 50% for this one. So that's an approach we could potentially go with. Another idea would be we could probably just make this one without a fill and add a border of 1.5. So yeah, this would be an alternative solution. Which one you like the most really depends on you. What do you prefer? Maybe let's just remove the top logo. Actually, I'm not really feeling it. So we're going to, by doing that, we're going to have a little bit of more extra space to work with, and let's just make these guys just a little bit bigger, not too much. Bring the steps up a little bit, bring this one up, and just trying to balance out the entire composition really. So for the time being, I'm just not going to maintain both of these designs. So let's move on and let's create the second screen. So I'm going to duplicate this first one right here, and this screen is going to be all about a ID verification. So that's going to be the name which we're going to have at the very top. And we're also going to leverage some other icons. So let's go ahead here and click on idea. I'm going to click on colored in order to try and find something which is going to be relevant for this specific screen right here. So I think this one is quite good. One thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to just like add a bunch of these ones and see which one is maybe fits better. And let's go ahead here, let's remove these guys, and let's try and just make this one quite bigger. One thing that we're gonna do is we're going to add a little bit of more stroke to the actual image. We're going to use the same gray as we have here, but just make it a little bit more darker so that it's going to be more clear overall. I'm going to remove this one right here, and probably let's try and kind of like mix and match these. Maybe we can do something around the lines of a step 1 and step 2. So let's try and do that. I'm going to make this one a little bit more on these tones, so that it just works a little bit better with the tones of the ones on the right. And let's make this one full blue. Then we're going to tweak around the different intensities, and yeah, maybe something around these lines could potentially work. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. And actually, I'm not too fond of the different colors, so we're just gonna go with the blue. Also here for the main, yeah, this one would work quite well. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to just try and align it to the left, and we're going to have two steps. Step 1 and 2. Just going to left line this one as well, make it smaller since we don't really need all that text. Going to make these initials smaller as well. I don't know why they're bothering me, but yep, that's that. Let's make it bold. Let's give it a fill, and let's bring them up. And as we can see, the iconography is a little bit too big for my liking, and I just want to align it so that it's perfect. All right, we're close to perfect as we can, and yeah, I think we're definitely heading somewhere with this. Let's make this image, this icon here, the same so over here, yeah, actually this is going to be step 2, this is going to be step 1, and I would also add a third step. Oops, too much. And there you go. Cool. So for the third step, going to use a unlock icon, and based on these styles right here, I'm actually wondering if I'm gonna go with a lock. Yeah, maybe let's give it a try. We can always change it later. All right, just going to bring it here, remove this guy, and when it comes to this one here, I'm actually wondering if maybe like something around these colors could work better, or if it's a little bit too much. So it's just about trying things out, really trying to see what experiments work best. And yeah, we make this one a little bit shorter. I'm gonna change the text on this one. This is the very step which you want to do, and this up. We're moving towards the end, so this is going to be step 3 of 4. All right, so I think this is looking pretty cool so far. And yeah, let's just keep it as it is for now. And we're going to have one more screen in this instance, which is going to be sort of a how would you call it, a menu. So this is going to be a menu screen which we're going to start almost from scratch. Just going to remove this, and I'm going to simply have a few items right here. And the menu is going to be at the very bottom, so I can move around these guys. And we're simply going to have a bunch of countries here, and we're also going to make it with this style. I'm going to make this sidebar here with a bit less width in the equation. And let's make it full height. I'm going to make it 10% or 15%. I guess go with 20 since it's not all that visible at the moment. And I'm going to duplicate this, make it full opacity. And we're also going to have a check icon, which is going to be important. I'm trying to search for kind of like a circular check. Can't really find it, so I guess I'll just make one myself. So here's the check. I'm going to add a circle, put it below the check, like this. Center all of this. White. Remove the filter. Add a stroke. Make it white. And there you go. Cool. I'm gonna make this one 1 pixel, maybe a 1.5. Same for this guy. I'm just going to give it some of this. All right, perfect. So we're definitely heading somewhere here. Gonna make this one 50% opacity. And after that, we're going to simply select. So this is going to be Italy. And even before we duplicate all of these guys, we're going to bring this to the top, make it a bit smaller, and we're going to create sort of a search bar, or actually a search bar. Gonna make it darker, with a bit smaller in height, just a bit. Add the search icon. And yep, this one will do. Duplicate this, call it search. make it bigger. Cool. So far, so good. Make this check just a little bit smaller. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to group this, and I'm going to duplicate this set of rows just a few times. And now I'll need some sort of list of country, so I can simply don't so I just make the work a little bit easier on that front. Just going to start with yeah, the top ones. Okay, cool. Since we have the left side set to the top, so yeah. So yeah, just a matter of copying and pasting all of these countries, no particular order except the one we see over here. Cool, so we got this, and country. Cool, so I think we could we can definitely maybe like bring this one up, or yeah, let's just leave it as it is for now. So cool, guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial right here, and I think for the most part we're pretty much done. I'm just trying to like experiment and see if there's anything we can do here, maybe to make this section more interesting. But yeah, for the most part I think we're good to go with this. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. And on my channel, I have over 300 videos on UI UX design, both tutorials like this one, and also just videos discussing the freelance design aspect of it, because I've been a freelance UI UX designer for the past almost 8 years now, and I have quite a bit of experience working with companies of all sizes, from startups to enterprise companies. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check out my channel and subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you want to receive notifications when new videos come out, which is quite often. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and see you in the next video.